Welcome to today's cryptocurrency news. Cryptocurrency prices today.
The price of Bitcoin, BTC, to US dollar, USDT, has increased by 2.79% compared to the previous day, while the price of Ethereum, ETH, to USDT has increased by 2.11% compared to the same day last year, and the price of Binance Smart Chain, BNB, to USDT has increased by 0.44% compared to the same day last year.
Latest news.
S&P 500 index closes at highest level of the year amid optimism on Federal Reserve's interest rate policy. The S&P 500 closed at its highest level of the year on Friday, fueled by growing optimism that the Federal Reserve has finished raising interest rates and may begin cutting them next year as inflation cools. The index closed at 4,594.63 points, up 26.83 points, or 0.05%, surpassing the previous high of 4,588.96 on July 31st. U.S. stocks rebound in November after 3 consecutive months of declines, driven by better-than-expected earnings and evidence of easing inflation, which increased bets that the Fed was at the end of its monetary tightening campaign. The S&P 500 received an additional boost when Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell pledged to move carefully on interest rates, describing the risks of tightening too far as more balanced with the risks of not controlling inflation. Jeffrey Roach, chief economist at LPL Financial in Charlotte, North Carolina, said in an email that markets view Powell's comments as leaning towards the dovish camp. U.S. stocks dip as investors await Jerome Powell's comments. U.S. stocks dip as investors anticipate Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's comments. Powell is scheduled to speak at Spelman College at 11 a.m. and again at 2 p.m., following mixed opinions from other central bankers. The S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrial Average rose in November, but on Friday, the S&P 500 was down, while the Nasdaq Composite was down. ING Economics predicts the Fed will cut rates 6 times in 2024, while Zillow has released 6 predictions for the housing market next year. The economy is showing a concerning signal about consumer health, last seen before the 2008 crash. Sporting Crypto Social NYC event explores tokenization and real-world assets. Sporting Crypto Social NYC event featured discussions on tokenization and real-world assets with industry leaders from sports, gaming, tech, and Web3. Attendees included NBA, NHL, MLB, PGA, Arbitrum, Zora, Near, Solana, Mason Labs, AWS, Google, and Apple. Pat Barisha, founder of Sporting Crypto, emphasized collaboration with Web3 native operators for mainstream adoption. Jamie King, co-founder of Rockstar Games, highlighted the role of strong communities in groundbreaking achievements. The event suggested that blockchain technology could cross over into the mainstream through sports, gaming, and entertainment. Grayscale report reveals unexpected diversity in Bitcoin ownership. A report from Grayscale Investments has revealed a surprising diversity in Bitcoin, BTC, ownership, with 74% of addresses holding less than 0.01 BTC. This dispels the common belief that Bitcoin is predominantly owned by a few individuals. The report also highlights the concentration of BTC supply among institutions such as exchanges, miners, governments, and long-term holders. The accessible nature of Bitcoin is highlighted by the fact that 74% of addresses hold less than 0.01 BTC, contrasts with traditional high-risk, high-return assets like private equity and venture capital. The report introduces the concept of sticky supply, referring to Bitcoin held for long-term purposes and less likely to be sold in the short term. This includes 14% of the supply that hasn't been touched in over a decade, possibly owned by Satoshi Nakamoto or lost BTC. The aspect of sticky supply is relevant in the context of upcoming events, such as the potential approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US. The report concludes that the diverse and distributed nature of BTC ownership and the growing presence of institutional investors signify a significant shift in the cryptocurrency landscape. Gaming NFT marketplace Aqua shuts down. Aqua, a gaming NFT marketplace, has officially ceased operations. The startup was launched in 2022 and partnered with blockchain firms like Immutable and Polygon Labs. However, it struggled to raise funds in the broader crypto gaming market with slower-than-expected growth. CEO Sean Ryan stated that, while he still believes gamers will own their gaming assets, it will take longer than initially anticipated. Aqua aimed to offer a gaming NFT marketplace and embedded marketplace solutions for game developers, supporting NFTs on Ethereum, Polygon, and Immutable X networks. The closure of Aqua follows GameStop's decision to shut down its NFT wallet in August, citing regulatory uncertainty. Federal judge orders SEC to explain misleading evidence in debt box case. A federal judge has ordered the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to explain why its attorneys should not be sanctioned for presenting false and misleading evidence in the debt box case. In July 2023, the SEC accused digital licensing of offering an unregistered security and defrauding investors of at least $49 million. The SEC's legal team claimed the defendants were attempting to move assets and investor funds overseas, citing bank statements and account closures as evidence. However, the defendants and relief defendants moved to dissolve the TRO in September, claiming the SEC had misled the court in their initial application. The TRO was dissolved in October 2023. The SEC has received the order and will respond to the court as directed. AntPool to refund $3 million mistaken Bitcoin transaction fee. AntPool, a Bitcoin mining pool, will refund $3 million in transaction fees. A user mistakenly submitted an 83 BTC gas fee, which prompted AntPool's risk control system to freeze the transaction. The original owner must verify their identity by contacting AntPool by December 10, 2023. The transaction set a record with a $3 million fee, with the user overpaying by 120,528 times. This incident follows a $50 million fee paid by an anonymous user. AntPool will reimbursement the fee to Paxos. Ethereum's greenhouse gas emissions dropped 99.97% after proof-of-stake shift. The Ethereum network's greenhouse gas emissions have dropped by 99.9%, despite an increase in node count, according to research by the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance, CCF. The CCF has increased its crypto research efforts after launching the Cambridge Blockchain Network Sustainability Index, SBC, in April. The index measures Ethereum's electricity consumption before and after the merge. The Ethereum network currently accounts for 2.1 kilotons of carbon dioxide equivalent, KTCO2e, on an annualized basis, but the CCF report provides context for these emissions, comparing them to the emissions from 5 round-trip airplane flights, the annual energy consumption-related emissions of 4 UK households, or the annual carbon sequestration capacity of 270 acres of forest. The report states that electricity usage is only one aspect of an environmental impact assessment, and additional data was needed to convert electricity consumption to greenhouse gas emissions. The Ethereum network has increased its electricity consumption by 38.2% in the 8 months since the merge, with Europe and North America accounting for 43.3% and 40.5% of the network's nodes, respectively. The CCF plans to enhance its Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index, SBC, next, acknowledging that Bitcoin's proof-of-work consensus model is a cornerstone of its identity. Blast project gains $50 million in staked Ether and stablecoins. Blast, a multi-sig with a plan initiative, now has $50 million in staked Ether and stablecoins under its control. The project promises that deposited tokens will earn an on-chain yield and rewards of unknown value. The Blast team recently set its slippage tolerance to an unusually high 10%, causing one user to lose about 10 million in value. The team claims to have fixed the issue. The Beacon chain was aware that their Ether would be locked up for at least a couple of years, and by April 2023, approximately 8 million ETH had been deposited. Liquid staking experienced rapid growth, with Lido becoming the dominant player in early 2022 and accounting for nearly a third of all staked Ether by May 2022. Lido's stake share remains between 20% and 30%, and Blast, which exclusively uses Lido, is not helping to alleviate concerns about centralization. Some argue that the concentration of Ether stake is similar to the dominance of Go Ethereum, GAF, execution client for Ethereum node operators, while others view it as a feature rather than a problem. Lido now has more total value locked, TVL, than any other DeFi protocol, approaching $1 billion. Peru aims to raise local currency debt to pay down dollar bonds as Fed cuts rates. Peru plans to increase local currency debt to pay down dollar bonds, says Finance Minister Alex Contreras. The country sold 9.2 billion sols, 9.5 billion, in bonds maturing in 2033 at a yield of 7.35% in May. The government is currently in a recession due to high interest rates, and the economy is suffering from social unrest and farming losses. The central bank has cut rates to 7% from 7.7% earlier this year, but slower activity has hurt tax revenue. Contreras says the government will need to implement more spending cuts to achieve a fiscal deficit target of 2.4% of GDP by the end of the year. Investors withdraw billions from inflation-protected bonds market. Investors have withdrawn 2.1 billion from 5 major ETFs focused on U.S. Treasury inflation-protected securities in November, marking the largest monthly outflow since October 2022. The withdrawals occurred as recent data showed a softening of inflation and an index of nominal Treasury bonds experienced its most significant rally since November 2008. The PCE deflator is on track to fall below the central bank's median forecast of 3.7% for the end of 2023. The bond market has returned to pricing in Fed easing over the next 12 months, with swaps traders leaning towards a first rate cut as early as March. But Fed Chair Jerome Powell has pushed back against Wall Street's expectations, stating that the committee will proceed cautiously. Investors will closely monitor U.S. consumer inflation figures released as the Fed begins its two-day meeting in mid-December. Grayscale predicts positive catalysts for Bitcoin amid spot ETF approvals and upcoming presidential election. Grayscale research identifies positive catalysts for Bitcoin, including potential spot Bitcoin ETF approvals, halving, and presidential election. Bitcoin has rebounded by 130% in 2023, with improved crypto fundamentals and tight supply picture in major tokens. The presidential election next year is expected to bring attention to excessive government borrowing and Fed independence, potentially positive for the US dollar and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's hash rate hit an all-time high in November, while open interest for Bitcoin futures listed by CME also hits a high. Grayscale estimates global crypto ETP net inflows to reach $1 billion for the year, with November inflows totaling $1.3 billion. Stablecoins also benefit from a more positive outlook, with aggregate stablecoin market capitalization increasing by $4 billion and the amount of gas used on stablecoin transactions moving higher. Altcoins outperform Bitcoin in November as crypto rally broadens. Smaller cryptocurrencies such as AVAX, HNT, Blur, and Rune outperformed Bitcoin, BTC, in November, with all tokens experiencing price increases. The broader crypto rally has led to predictions of an alt season as smaller altcoins outperform Bitcoin. Other top performers include Helium, HNT, and non-fungible token marketplace Blur, and 4chain's native crypto, Rune. The slowing momentum for large-cap cryptocurrencies has prompted investors to shift profits into riskier areas of the digital asset market. The CoinDesk Market Index sector performances showed larger gains than BTC, with the Culture and Entertainment Sector Index, CNE, and DeFi Sector Index, DCF, rising by 42% and 39%, respectively. Investment advisory firm ByteTree suggests that the widening breadth of the crypto rally indicates an altcoin season and that about half of the top 100 cryptocurrencies are in neutral or rising trends compared to BTC.
Thank you for watching today.
Bless the audience to make a lot of money in the currency circle. It is hoped that the audience can grasp investment opportunities, invest rationally, and earn reasonable returns. At the same time, the audience is also reminded that investment is risky and needs to be treated with caution, and they should not blindly follow suit or overtrade.